Today we will be discussing extradural hematoma, also known as epidural hematoma. It is an extraaxial, meaning outside the brain matter, bleed occurring between the dura and the skull bone. Head injury is a silent epidemic that disproportionately affects low and middle income countries. Indeed, around 2% of all head injuries presenting to the emergency department are extradural hematomas, which are associated with significant morbidity and mortality, especially with advancing age. Today, we will be talking to a survivor. This brave lady will tell us what she went through.
Thank you for this opportunity. I was drinking and driving, which I shouldn't have been doing. Then I lost control. I sustained blunt force trauma to my skull over a place known as a terion, lacerating my middle meningeal artery. I had an initial significant loss of consciousness, then I recovered. I had a headache gradually increasing in severity, associated with vomiting, not preceded by nausea. And then I started to lose consciousness again and was immediately rushed to the hospital. When I came to, the doctors told me that was known as a lucid period, and I was very lucky. I should have gone to the hospital immediately after the accident.
That is a scary story. Did the doctors tell you what they found when they examined you?
Yes, they did. I had a decreased level of consciousness with a low Glasgow Coma score, and I was weak on one side. They called that hemiparesis. My pupils were also unequal, and they called that anisocoria. Before they rushed me to theatre, my blood pressure was low, my heartbeat was soft, and I had difficulty in breathing. The doctors told me that's known as Cushing's triad, and it's a sign I was very close to death.
After examination and stabilization, Ms. Wambui had a non-contrast CT scan of the head, a full blood count, and a grouping and cross-matching to prepare her for theatre. The CT scan showed a hyperdense biconvex lens-shaped lesion underlying a fracture in the region of the terion. She was managed preoperatively using the Brain Trauma Foundation guidelines. Intraoperatively, she had a craniotomy with the aim of controlling the bleeding and removing more than 80% of the clot, restoring normal intracranial pressure. With all of these done, now we have the patient in front of us today. Before we leave, are there any parting shots you would want to leave the audience with, Ms. Wambui?
The thing I would like to say is now I have learned that head injury can come from many places. You could be assaulted, you could be in a road traffic accident, but in my case, it's quite regrettable because I could have prevented it. So what I would tell others is to really avoid and not drink and drive because you don't know what could happen to you.